It's an honor to welcome Professor Jitendra Uttam sir, a distinguished scholar in Korean Studies at the Center for East Asian Studies, School of International Studies, JNU. Sir holds a PhD from Seoul National University, Korea, and is an expert in international political economy, particularly in Korea and East Asia. Sir has authored 3 books, including The Political Economy of Korea, Varieties of Capitalism in Asia, and The Political Economy of Financial System, Korean and Indian Experiences in Retrospect. His extensive research contributions have been published in renowned international journals, and he has presented at prestigious conferences and institutions worldwide. Today, we are privileged to hear his insights on India-Korea relations, challenges and opportunities. Please join me in welcoming sir.
Good afternoon. In the first place, I would like to thank the MERI institution who has conceptualized this very important dialogue. So my sincere appreciation for Sri I.P. Agrawal ji and Professor Lalit Agrawal ji and Professor Ramakant ji, who is my hostel mate from Jawaharlal Nehru University, and I am seeing him after a long time. I am very happy that he has come up with such a wonderful idea. Also, I would like to thank many students who are here and my fellow presenters from the diplomacy side and from the academic side. I think Korea always comes last. China, Japan, and Korea. So in the center also, in the Center for East Asian Studies where I teach, Japan, Korea, China. However, now, actually Korean division is very empowered. We have 4 people now as faculty members, and Korean program is doing very well. Talking about the bilateral economic engagement, like I'm here to talk about India-Korea economic relations. What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? However, to give a background, I would like to share my ideas that a bilateral relations, they do not work in a vacuum. They work in a context, the multilateral context, regional, international context. So, when we see Korea was also a country that was a developing economy when India, Korea, both they became independent. Actually, both countries, they became independent on the same 15th August. However, seeing the journey from 50s till date, and this is a very important question, that Korea moved ahead and we also did our best, but India's per capita income remains close to 3,000, where Korean per capita income reached to more than 30,000. So I think it is very important to understand when we talk about India-Korea relations, actually Korea is not of the Korea that many Indians they talk. Neither the Asia. Asia is now divided into 2 parts very clearly. One is a developed Asia and other, we say developing, sometimes some people they can say underdeveloped Asia. Unfortunately, South Asia is the major part of that underdevelopment, India included. So, in this context, if we see India-Korea relations, for many people, they are great. Our relationship that in the 50s and till the 80s, 90s, even beginning the 90s, during the Cold War time, the political logic dominated. India was part of something different than the South Korea. And this political logic constrained to utilize the potential that the both countries they had. So India's trade with Korea was insignificant. Though we had developed the diplomatic relations in 1973. Even before that, we had a trade agreement in 1964. But that time, our trade was only $12 million. However, the world changed with the dismantling of the Soviet bloc. India also had a shock. We had a balance of payment crisis. And India initiated, under the conditions of International Monetary Fund, and we initiated from 1991 what we call structural economic reforms. And these reforms, they produced a new kind of dynamism and a new kind of interest in Korea towards India. With the long, more than a decade-long economic reforms, even today also we do some reform, but at least one decade intensively India reformed many things. What I can summarize: deregulation, liberalization, and privatization. These three things were the guiding force, and India reformed its economy. Many Korean businesses, they were, till the end of the Cold War, they were thinking India kind of market-seeking approach, that they can create a liaison office, they can sell something in India, but from 1991 onwards, when India liberalized its economic regime, many Korean big companies, they came with the 100% ownership of their subsidiaries and opened business in India. Before that, many Korean companies, they had joint ventures, but unfortunately couldn't work out. Even as a student, I was talking to many Koreans who were living close to Jawaharlal Nehru University in Vasant Bihar, and they had some joint ventures. But I think there is a problem of cross-cultural communication and also different interests. But when India allowed 100% ownership for the foreign companies, they can come and invest in India, I think from that time, Korea came in a big way. And I think I was that time a student in Seoul National University, and many Korean companies, they came not bringing the speculative capital to India, but a productive capital. They came, they established their companies. I think this, India has to understand that the investment coming from Korea and the investment coming from many other Western countries, there is a difference. Hyundai company came, they established the company here. Samsung established the company here, provided the job, and I think that is very important for India to understand. So, the political logic was countered by the economic logic, and Korea came with the strategy, what we can term as production-seeking approach, that come to India, produce in India, then sell in India, possibly export from India. Because the wages went up in Korea, and anything that was produced in Korea could not work in the Indian market. Very expensive. So Korean companies came with the approach that they will come in India, they will produce in India, and I think that became a success. Of course, there are many other issues that the big companies from Korea, they came, they became successful, but the small and medium-sized companies from Korea, they could not come in that manner and become a success. However, we can see the other change that Korea has moved, not only the economic engagement, but the cultural engagement. The cultural products from Korea, they are getting very popular, and this new phase is very important because from Korean side, from Indian side, more efforts are now to understand each other's culture, and the Korean culture is so popular that many of the students, earlier they were coming in the School of International Relations department from Korean language department. But now many students, they come, they learn Korean from, I don't know from where. They say online, from watching the movies, watching the Korean creative content, and they come directly. Even one student came, she told she has taken admission in the master's program of Korean language, but she did not do undergraduation in Korean language. She learned Korean. So this is the power of culture. And I think between India and Korea, we have no political problem. Only what is the restricting India-Korea economic cooperation is the regulatory environment. So many regulations. And I think the bigger challenge that India-Korea they face, not only India-Korea, but wider with China, with Japan, and many other East Asian countries, that India has not yet become or not yet integrated into the Asian production network. What Ambassador Tal was talking about, the value chains, or what we can say supply chains. Actually, Korean business, the Japanese and all, they are present in many Asian countries. However, if we are not part of that system, it is difficult for Korea to expand relations with India. I think many Korean companies, many Korean big business, they have presence in ASEAN, in China, in many other countries. So a product is not only produced in one country, in, let's say, in India. Many components, many things, they come from other Asian countries. What is the supply chain? So if India is away from that supply chain, and I think this has been a problem in India of our leadership, that we have never understood what one Japanese professor talked about, the flying geese model. That is, that every country is fitting into one type of role, and that role is that you streamline your regulatory environment, infrastructural problems, sort out them, and then become part of the Asian production system. And if India can become the part of Asian production system, then there is no limit between India-Korea economic relationship. So India-Korea economic relationship is not only in the vacuum, that only India-Korea they can do great. I think we need to understand there is a regional, there is an international context. So I have to conclude because I got the message in 10 minutes, but I think it is very important. India-Korea relationship, economic relations now stand around $26–27 billion. But the potential is very high. As other presenters also they told, that Korea has very key mass manufacturing technologies. But as one can understand, no country is going to just come and give you the technology. Business works with the business logic. Business in India will come only when they can make money. We have to change our regulations. We have to make the system that the Asian business, they can come and work in India and make money. I think that's very important. So I have the notice that I should conclude. So just I want to say that not only India's problem is that we had to move back out from the RCEP, but we cannot hide. We have East Asia, the mass manufacturing powers are there, and we have to deal with them. So we have to reform and reset our system to improve the bilateral cooperation, not only with Korea, but with the East Asia. Thank you very much.